All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hit it out of the park with session number 6 of HIIT SEO. I hope all of you are doing absolutely great and you had a great time doing assignment number 5 because we've had record number of submissions for assignment number 5, which is absolutely great. I'm loving the fact that many more people are putting in the effort, finishing the assignments on time, and for the last assignment, also for assignment number 4, we had record approval also. So I feel that it's absolutely going great right now. And it makes me feel absolutely great realizing that everybody is enjoying all of these sessions, everybody is implementing it, learning from it, and helping each other out also. So thank you very much. I hope you guys had a great assignment for the previous session. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts in the chat box, how it was, what all did you learn, what was your key takeaway from session number 5, and then we'll jump right into session number 6 of HIIT SEO. We'll be learning a lot of interesting stuff today and something probably a lot of people might be waiting for. So real quick, let me know how your experience of assignment number 5 was. Paid speed, key learning, says Harshita, fantastic. Magic of WP Rocket and Cloudflare. You can say that again, Mallikarjun. WP Rocket can make your website super fast. It absolutely can. It's a fantastic plugin. Zip, zap, zoom, speedy. Yes, we go. It was great. Learn to implement effective schema, which was really something. Amazing. This time I edited my previous portfolio blog and realized how wrong my strategies were before, says Radhika. Fantastic. Good to know that you are obviously realizing all of these things. Very happy to know that. Massive change that I saw on paid speed with Cloudflare. Understood the importance of CDN really, really well. So once you started doing all of these things, I hope you guys didn't find the entire session as overwhelming as it was the previous session. Let me know real quick in the chat box if you found it to be a lot more understanding, a lot more easier once you went ahead and started implementing it. Rashi says it's going great. I'm getting comfortable handling technicals. Fantastic. So that's also very, very good to know. Steve Nirvana in SEO, says Anmol. Literally easy, says Anurag. Fantastic. So a lot of people were very apprehensive about the fact that they were not technical people. How many people used to feel that before joining this session, and how many people feel that you are a lot more comfortable right now doing all of those things that you thought you would never be able to do, and understand why you're doing all of those things also, very importantly. Feeling so comfortable now, says Anurag. Fantastic. So 50% through, we have 50% more left in HIIT SEO and many more interesting stuff coming along your way. And with that, it's 9 p.m. I think we should just get started with session number 6. Type in start in the chat box if you guys are ready with session number 6, because we are going to be learning about off-page SEO. Fantastic. Now, what on earth is off-page SEO? Off-page SEO refers to the activities you perform outside your website to increase its authority. So far, for the past 5 weeks, everything that you have been doing was you were performing all of these activities on your website. You were either improving the relevancy, you're increasing the user signals, the technicalities of your website to make it more crawler friendly plus user friendly as well. So that was the intention. Now we are going to go outside of your website and build your authority. What are the 3 different buckets under which we had put our ranking signals? Can anyone help me realize or remember it? RAU, that's right. Indrani and Mitra also got it right. So did Neha. RAU, relevancy, authority, and user signals. To a large extent, you're taking care of relevancy and user signals. Now it's time for you to build your authority of your website, for which you have to go outside of your website and rely on other websites to help you build that authority. Now, a lot of people call off pages your link building, backlink building, you can call it whatever, it's the same thing, right? So we'll know exactly what it is. Now, what do you mean by a link or a backlink? Can anyone take a wild guess as to what a backlink is? Let me know in the chat box real quick if you want to take a guess at what a backlink according to you. Rohit says it's a word, very nice word. When a website gives you a link, says Anurag, absolutely correct. Other websites linking to your website, posts outside your website, okay? When others link to your website, reference, that's a good word too. Link from another blog or website to our website. Arunabha says outbound link. Outbound link is a link from your website to another website, not necessarily a link from another website to your website. Transfer of authority from bigger to smaller. Very nice way to put it, Justin. I think that's a great way to put it. So all of you guys are absolutely correct. So a backlink is nothing but, in very simple terms, an incoming hyperlink from one website to another website. Right? Say, for example, website A links to website B, then you can go out there and say that website B is receiving a link from website A, not the other way around. So a lot of people get confused thinking that website A has a backlink, but no, website B has a backlink or a link back, pointing back to website B. That's why it's called a backlink, right? So that is what a backlink is all about. Whenever you get links from other website to your website, not the other way around where you give links to other website, that's not a backlink. It's just a link or an outbound link. So when other websites give you link, that is what a backlink is about. So this is a very oversimplified version of it, but for you to truly understand what happens behind the scenes under the hood, you really need to understand the HTML element of it, right? So if you had to break apart your link, how would it look like in HTML? HTML is basically a coding language, and we all learned that, whenever, your browser basically is processing your HTML file and all of those things in the previous session. So an HTML, a link looks like this in HTML, right? So href, now you guys know where href gets its name from. Href equals quotes and your link, and then you have this, which is basically your anchor text, and this is how it looks like, right? This is how it looks like to your users. This is the front end, and this is how it looks in the back end of it, right? So the anatomy of the backlink is basically, this is the URL, and the text that is wrapping the link is called as anchor text. Just type in AT in the chat box for anchor text if you understood what it is, right? So anchor text is the text that wraps around the link, which makes the text clickable. So that is what an anchor text is. And you will understand why your anchor text is also a very important element of building backlinks, right? But before we understand all of those things, we have to understand why are backlinks so important. For you to understand this, you need to first understand how Google was built. Who's ready for a history lesson? Not one of those boring history lessons, but a quick, very interesting history lesson. Just type in history in the chat box if you guys are interested and ready to know about how Google actually came into being, right? So what we'll do is, let me open up my browser and show you guys something very interesting. This, as you can see on your screen right now, is the research paper submitted by Sergey Brin and Lawrence Page, who are the founders of Google, right? So what they call this paper was the anatomy of a large-scale hypertextual web search engine, right? So as you can see, it is still on the Stanford website. So both of them were Stanford students. And fun fact, Google was actually called as Backrub before, which is why it is still in the URL, you can still find Backrub. And eventually they moved it to like Google, right? Now, why am I showing you all of these things? So I'm sure you guys know this. Okay, let me ask you this in a different way. I'm sure you realize this or know this already, that Google is definitely not the first search engine. Neither is it the only search engine in the world. But what made it so big and so successful? Does anyone want to take a guess? Anyone wants to take a guess what made user centricity? Okay, fair enough. Immediate response, user friendliness. But how did they manage to achieve that? Unbiased. I don't think so, but okay. User friendly, more content, not necessarily accurate information. Okay. Authority, quality results. How did it manage to actually give you quality results? Now let's try to understand that. But for you to understand that, we need to understand the the context in which all of these things were set up, in which Google was actually born, right? So this is what they have put it. So search engine technology has had to scale dramatically to keep up with the growth of the web, right? In 1994, one of the first web search engines, the World Wide Web worm, wow, that's a mouthful, www, had an index of 110,000 web pages and web accessible documents. As of November 1997, the top search engines claim to index from 2 million web crawler to 100 million web documents, right? Now, what it was, so the challenges were quite different. It was, a lot of people said that a lot of content was like actually crawled and indexed by Google, but that was not necessarily the case. And let's hear it from Google's mouth itself, right? Creating a search engine with scales even to today's web presents many challenges. Challenge number one, fast crawling technology is needed to gather the web documents and keep them up to date, right? That's challenge number one. Challenge number two is storage space must be used efficiently to store indices or indexes, and optionally the documents themselves. The indexing system must process hundreds of gigabytes of data efficiently. Number four, queries must be handled quickly at a rate of hundreds to thousands per seconds, right? So these tasks were increasingly becoming very, very difficult. Now, but the most important thing was, it was not about the fact that, you know, can any search engine go out there and crawl the entire internet and like basically index it efficiently, which a lot of other search engines were able to do. But there was a big problem with all of these search engines. What was the problem? Junk results, right? Junk results often wash out any results that a user is interested in. In fact, as of November 1997, only one of the top 4 commercial search engine finds itself returns its own search page in response to its name in the top 10 results, right? See how bad the search results were. The quality of the search results was like that bad. So what they did was something very interesting, something very unique, something very clever. So what they did was, do you guys know how research papers work in the science field and all of those things, right? So the way it works is basically, you know, if I'm supposed to write a research paper, now I have to cite, C-I-T-E, cite, right? I have to cite or refer other research papers saying that, hey, you know what? Because this research paper, which was already peer reviewed by other scientists and researchers, because of that, I have come to this conclusion, right? That is what was happening. And now if say, for example, my close friend had written another research paper, and that research paper had been cited or referred to in many other research papers, do you or do you not think it means that it is a very important research paper? Let me know in the chat box real quick. Right? So it means that if a particular research paper has been referred to or cited in many other research papers, it means that it's a very authoritative research paper, right? So they took the same concept and put it to the web. What they did was they said that, hey, you know what, can we put the same concept, and instead of saying that, you know, sites and references, can we use links, right? That is exactly what they did, right? So they started using links to actually bring about order to the web. And the first algorithm was called as PageRank, named after none other than Larry Page or Lawrence Page, right? It was called as PageRank. That was the first algorithm that they did. Now, what they did was, the citation link graph or the web is an important resource that has largely gone unused in existing web search engines, right? We have created maps containing as many as 518 million of these hyperlinks, a significant sample of the total. This map allows rapid calculation of a web page's page rank, an objective measure of its citation importance that corresponds well with people's subjective idea of importance. Look how beautiful that line is. An objective measure of its citation importance that corresponds well with people's subjective idea of importance. So what they were trying to do is, if people are going to find a particular document or a page or a piece of content important, it's a very subjective experience. We all figured that out last session also. But how can we correspond it in such a way? How can we create a map that can actually create an objective measure? Can we objectively measure the importance of a document for which a lot of people might find it subjective enough, right? So that is the most important thing. Right now, how did they do that? So look at how they actually did it, and it's very important. Page rank can be thought of a, by the way, guys, if it's too overwhelming and all of those things, just absorb right now. Okay. I'm not going to ask anything about these things, but this is very important for you to understand the future concepts that I'll be like talking about in this particular session. So anyway, page rank can be thought of as a model of user behavior. We assume that there is a random surfer, somebody is surfing the internet, who's given a web page at random and keeps clicking on the links, whatever links that person is going to find on that page. Say, for example, there is one link here. They keep clicking on the links, never hitting the back, but eventually gets bored and starts on another random page. The probability that the random surfer visits a particular page by clicking on all the links that he followed is page rank. So basically what they're saying is the more links that there are on the internet for a particular page, the more chances of that random surfer actually landing on that page, which means that the page rank of that particular page is very high. Does that make sense? Right? If there are a lot of links spread across the internet, right? If a random surfer is randomly clicking on links for everywhere, whatever links that he finds on the internet, right? So what is the probability of that random surfer actually landing on that page? That is basically what page rank is in the most simplest of understanding, right? So they also put something called the damping factor and all of those things. If you actually want to like go ahead and like read this entire paper as to like, it's very beautiful. It's like really nicely written also. You might not, I didn't understand most of the things also. So, but it's still, just go through it. It's a very, very interesting document. So you'll be able to understand why they were doing so. This page rank is what enabled them to separate the junk results from the really good high quality results, right? So because they were able to say that, hey, if a particular website has a lot of links pointing to them, it means that particular website or page or document is very important, which is why we have to push it higher up the search results and show it to more people. Now, this is the key difference that made Google the behemoth that it is today, right? The quality of search results improved dramatically, and because of that, people were started to use the search engine Google again and again and again, right? So this was the key difference. It sounds so simple, but yet it was the key differentiator between many, many other search engines that were there before this. And even today in 2021, they still use the PageRank algorithm as their core algorithm. So you can check out Gary Elias. He's one of the core members of Google right now. So he says that, do you know that after 18 years, we are still using PageRank and hundreds of other signals in ranking, and it's basically linking to the same page here, right? So that is how important this particular feature was to Google, right? So that is why backlinks are so important to your website to boost the authority of your website. Type in MB for mind-blowing in the chat box if that was mind-blowing. I'll be sending you the link. Don't worry about it. How interesting was that? Like, I find it very interesting. I don't know about you guys. Right? And this was how Google came out to be, and Google became what it is today, right? So that is why backlinks are so important. So the more links that you're getting to your website, what you're signaling to Google is that, hey, you know what? My website is important. So which is why it is very authoritative. It is very credible, because we realize that your website is not going to be the only website that is going to be relevant. Your website is not going to be the only website that is going to provide the best user experience. So they needed to have a third dimension to it, which is basically your authority and credibility. Same like your research paper. The more citations or references that paper has, the more authority and credibility that particular paper has. Same thing like that. They were like, the more links a particular website or a page or a document has, it signals an objective understanding of the importance of that particular page, right? So that is why backlinks are so important. And probably, but having said that, if you don't do all the things that you have learned so far in these 5 weeks and just go out there and build backlinks, it is not going to work, right? You have to make sure it is relevant to the search query. You have to make sure that you're making it user friendly as possible, and then you have to make sure it is authoritative and credible. If you don't have the relevancy, if you don't have good user experience, no matter how authoritative or credible your website or content is, it is not going to help. And this is the key mistake that a lot of SEO guys out there do. They say that, hey, you know what, we're going to build you like 100 backlinks. They don't even talk about keyword research. They don't even talk about content creation. They don't even talk about on-page. They definitely don't talk about technical SEO. They just go straight into off-page and link building, and they say that, hey, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there and build some links. It might work, it might not work, and even if it does work, it might not last for a very long time, right? So because of that, a lot of guys' SEO results are like very, very shaky, right? So like I said, even today, it's one of the most important and biggest ranking factors. A backlink, like a lot of people said, is a vote of authority and credibility from one website to another. Now, the more relevant quality votes it gets, the better results you have. Now, what do I mean by this, right? I cannot be getting a backlink from, say, a website that is talking about health or something completely different, and although it is still considered as a backlink, it is still considered a valuable backlink. But if it is not relevant to the industry that I am in or relevant to the topic that I'm talking about, the value of that backlink is not going to be that high, right? So now, to understand what I mean by this, you need to understand two concepts: link quality and link juice. Now, we spoke about PageRank and how it was so important for Google to like actually, that was Google's USP compared to like all the other search engines out there. Now, what they did was basically they gave every page on the internet a quality score, which they called as a page rank, right? So now this page rank it ranges from 0 to 10. Higher the page rank, better the quality. Now, the whole website used to have a page rank from 0 to 10, and each page of that website also used to have its own page rank from 0 to 10, right? So this is how Google went about understanding or giving a score of authority and credibility for that particular website. Unfortunately, in around 2013, Google stopped showing the page rank of websites publicly, right? It used to be publicly available. When I started off in SEO, it was actually very easy to go out there and find out your website's page rank or any particular blog post or particular pages page rank as well. But today, it is not publicly visible, but still very much in use. Now, what happened? Because there was a vacuum in this particular space, people wanted to know how authoritative or credible their website or page is. Third-party metrics came about. So Moz came up with, Moz is another tool out there. So Ryan Fishkin, what you saw yesterday, the last session, he was the founder of Moz. They came up with their own metrics called as DA and PA, domain authority and page authority, right? So for every domain or website, they gave it an authority score of 0 to 100. And for each page of that website, also they gave a score of 0 to 100 called as page authority. And Ahrefs also has a metric which actually allows you to gauge PR. They call it DR and UR. DR stands for domain rating. UR stands for URL rating. So these are like proxies for PR, but they have a strong correlation between PR and like, the whatever scores that they're giving, but it definitely cannot be, used as a replacement or an actual 100% replacement. But, it's still a good way to like understand how authoritative or credible your website is, right? Now, everybody understood link quality? Just give me a quick yes or no in the chat box. Okay, fantastic. Now, let's move on to the next concept called as link juice. Now, link juice is not an official term, and a lot of people in the SEO industry actually despise it. Like they hate this term link juice. But I feel that for especially people who are new into the SEO world, it's much easier for you to understand all of these concepts, and it allows you to understand in a much better way. So link juice is the authority that one website passes to the other. That's what link juice is all about. Now, relevancy, authority, and location of the link pattern. So before we get into all of those things, let me try to help you understand what link juice is with this simple diagram, right? Say, for example, 4 websites are linking to your website, which is your website here. Now, the authority from these websites, right, which can be represented in the form of juice or any kind of liquid of your choice. Let's call it juice, right? So this linked juice or the authority can be transferred to your website, right? So that is what is happening when you are actually linking from one website to another. So these are all the different websites linking to your website, and your authority tank is basically like filling up slowly, right? So same thing here also. Now, the relevancy, authority, and the location of the link matters as well, right? Say, for example, these 4 websites, these 2 websites are very closely related to my own topic and my own website, and these 2 websites might not be that related to my website, okay? So now the link juice that is being passed from these 2 websites will be much higher compared to the link juice being passed by these 2 websites, because they're not that relevant, not that authoritative, and they might have a lot of other links on this page as well. So if there are many links going out exactly like this, so the amount of link juice that you gets diluted. Does that make sense? If there are many links going out of a particular page, which also includes a link to your website, the amount of link juice that you are getting actually gets diluted. So which is why the number of links on that page also is important. The relevancy of that the website or the topic that is being spoken about on that page is important. So many other things are super important, right? So that is what link juice is all about. Now, like I said, outbound links or OBL will also determine how much link juice you are going to get. Now, what happened was that a lot of these SEO guys, they realize that, hey, you know what? Since backlinks are such an important thing for SEO, how about we just go out there and, be a menace to the entire world and like actually go out there and start creating all of these backlinks and get as much link juice as possible to our website, right? That's what started happening back in like 2006, 2007, 2008 times. A lot of people used to go out there and try to get backlinks from these websites. They used to do a lot of different things to make that happen. So what all of these webmasters, these guys on top, they were like, hey, you know what? This is not fair because our authority is being stolen from us, right? Our link juice is being stolen from us. We don't mind giving this link juice, but we would only want to give it to people or websites that are actually deserve that link juice, right? We don't want to give it to people who do not deserve it. We want to make sure that we only give it to websites that actually deserve it, that is actually credible and authoritative for that matter. Now, what Google, along with all of the other search engines, they did was they got together and said that, hey, we need to solve this. We need to fix this. How do we go about actually solving this? How do we go about actually fixing this? So they came up with a very novel idea, very simple yet very effective idea. They said to all of these webmasters that now you can actually control whether or not you want to pass the link juice to the other website. Now, how do you do that? You do that by either using a do follow or no follow. A lot of people might have come across this particular term also. Now, a do follow link is a link that allows link juice to flow, right? So this exactly HTML looks exactly like the one we saw. Now, if you choose, say, for example, you are one of the webmasters, if you choose that, hey, you know what? I don't want to pass on this authority. I don't want to pass on this link juice to other websites. So all you need to do is add this tag in your HTML, right? Rel equals no follow. Now, what happens then is the link juice will not be allowed to flow. If you go back to this diagram here, a very simple way to understand is that what Google did was basically gave all of these webmaster tabs, right? They said that, hey, by default, it's going to be open. If you want to close it, you can close it. All you need to do is add this link. If you add this tag in your links, right? So you can actually do it much more easily on WordPress and all of those things. So they said that you just need to like add that tag to your link and you're like good to go. All of those links on your page is going to become no follow, right? So that is what no follow and do follow links are all about. Now, what happens, unfortunately, in the SEO industry is that because a do follow link allows link juice and a no follow link does not allow any link juice to flow through, a lot of people are obsessed with just going out there and building do follow links only, right? Now, very importantly, you need to know that a no follow link is also still important. It might not be as powerful as a do follow link, but it is still considered as a vote of confidence to your website. More importantly, a natural website, a natural link profile of a website would have a healthy mixture of no follow and do follow. If it has only do follow links pointing to a particular website, it obviously means that you have manipulated it. You have not actually earned it, but you have gone ahead and like created all of these links for yourself, which is obviously not that great, right? So that's why do not get obsessed with just building do follow links. You need to have a healthy mixture of do follow and no follow links. I'll show you guys how to do that. Don't worry about it at all. But everybody is clear about link quality, link juice, and do follow and no follow. Just type in CC in the chat box if you are crystal clear about all of these concepts. Awesome. Fantastic. Now, another element of backlinking is, you guys want to take a guess? Text. It is the text with which you wrap the link with. Now, why is anchor text such an important element of a backlink? Right? Let's try to go back to the document shared by Google itself and try to understand what they had to say about anchor text. Now, what they said was the text of link is treated in a special way in our search engine. Most search engines associate the text of a link with the page that the link is on. In addition, we associated it with the page the link points to. This has several advantages. First, anchors often provide more accurate descriptions of web pages than the pages themselves. Second, anchors may exist for documents which cannot be indexed by a text-based search engine, such as images, programs, and databases. Now, that's not the case anymore. This makes it possible to return the web pages which have not actually been crawled. Now, what do you mean by this? What we mean by this is pretty simple. That anchor text basically describes the link or the page which is being placed in that particular hyperlink, right? So that is what Google started doing. So they were saying that whatever the text is being wrapped around that link, that actually describes the page much more accurately than the page itself, right? So even today, they actually emphasize a lot on anchor text and what it says and everything, right? So now, again, all of these SEO guys, they couldn't shut up. They had to go out there and like wreak havoc. So what they started doing was they started manipulating this also. They were like, hey, if anchor texts are so important, if anchor text actually describes what the page is about, then let me know in the chat box. Wouldn't it make sense for me to go out there and use my keyword itself as the anchor text so that Google knows what that page is about? Let me know in the chat box if that makes sense. Right? So a lot of people are saying that, can I not go out there and use the keyword itself as the anchor text so that Google understands what the page is about, and therefore it'll actually go out there and rank my website for that particular keyword, right? So obviously Google did not like it because everyone started doing this and everyone was like manipulating the natural anchor text profile of a website, whereas Google definitely wanted it to be as natural as possible. So around 2012, Google launched an algorithmic update called as Penguin. Now, this update was a major update and it affected a lot of websites on the internet. What it was intended to do was it was intended to fight anchor text spam, which is what I exactly like refer to, right? So Google didn't want people to go out there and like manipulate it to such an extent where the anchor text is trying to like lie about what the page is about, right? So they were like, you know what, let's try to keep it as natural as possible. We'll try to do our best and understand. So for them to do that, they did a bunch of different things. So they basically began understanding what the page is about by itself without the help of the anchor text and everything. So that's how it like became like much more better. Now, we spoke about anchor text diversity or anchor text profile. Like, what do I mean by that? And how does a natural anchor text profile look like? For you to understand, what anchor text is, you need to know the different types of anchor text that you can use while you are building your backlinks. Now, there are different types of anchor text. So you have the exact match. Now, let's assume that learn SEO is one of the keywords that I'm targeting for. So if that was the case, what I would do is I'll have a sentence like this: HIIT SEO is the best way to learn SEO. Just type in A in the chat box if you agree with that statement. So HIIT SEO is the best way to learn SEO. Now, what I'll go out there and do is learn SEO will become my anchor text, and I will link my page, my HIT SEO landing page for the keyword learn SEO. Now this becomes my exact match anchor text. You also have something called as phrase match, wherein my keyword is part of a much larger phrase. Here it is the same sentence, but the link starts from best way to learn SEO, right? So start from best. So the entire thing becomes the anchor text itself. So this is a phrase match. A phrase match is where your keyword is part of a much larger phrase. Now we have brand also, wherein instead of saying learn SEO, I'm using the brand, which is HIT SEO in this case, is the best way to learn SEO. Now, these are three different ways. There are many more ways also. You have naked URLs, which does not have any kind of anchor text at all. You also have generic, right? So you click here, view more, read more, things like that. So this is also a type of this thing. And LSI keywords as well. HIT SEO is the best way to understand and implement SEO, right? So these are the 6 different types of anchor text that you need to have. And now what do I, if your anchor text or backlinks were built naturally over a period of time, and you'll be learning between this session and next session will also be about off-page SEO. You'll be learning between this session and next session. This is how your anchor text profile would look like. A natural anchor text profile would look like this. Your exact match will just be about 2%. Your phrase match will be about 20%. Your brand will be about 50%. Your brand can be your website's name, your name, things like that, right? Your naked URLs will be about 20%. Your generic ones will be about 5%. On LSI keywords will be about around 5%, right? So this is how more or less, it need not have to be exactly this, but this is how it would be like distributed, so to speak, right? So most of it is going to be like brand keywords, and the rest of it will be like divided between phrase match, exact match, naked URLs, and things like that, right? So think about this. If somebody is linking your website by themselves without you incentivizing them to do anything because you have provided such amazing value through your content, do you think they're going to go through the trouble of using your exact match, phrase match, and all of those things? Let me know in the chat box. Absolutely not, right? So which is why if people are going out there and naturally linking out to you, this is how your anchor text profile would look like, which is what Google was also trying to say. You need to earn your backlinks, not necessarily build your backlinks. We'll be learning about it in the next session, so don't worry about it. We'll be having a mixture of building and earning backlinks both, right? So this is how your anchor text diversity looks like. In a similar manner, your backlink profile also needs to be distributed and be as diverse as possible, right? Now, what do I mean by this? So your backlink profile is basically one that shows what kind of links point to your website. A good backlink profile will have backlinks from unique root domains. Now, what do I mean by that? If one website is giving you 100 backlinks or 100 links from either 100 different pages or like 50, 60 different pages, it does not mean that you have 100 links. You have 100 links, but you actually have one solid backlink from one different rule domain. So if you want to like diversify your backlink profile, you need to be getting backlinks from multiple websites, not just one website, multiple websites, which means that backlinks from unique root domains. Obviously, it needs to be as relevant as possible to your own website. It needs to have a healthy balance between do follow and no follow. We spoke about this. Again, if it is going to be naturally earned, you know, some websites are naturally do follow, some websites are naturally no follow, things like that will automatically happen, right? And it has to be coming from high authority and credible websites also, and it needs to have good anchor text diversity as well. Now, how do you figure out how your, backlink profile and anchor text profile looks like? So what we're going to do is we are going to like use Ahrefs again. They have yet another free tool which you can use to go out there and check the backlinks that are pointing to your website. Let me show it to my website. So as you can see, there are about 1,300 backlinks from 278 unique root domains or referring domains, as Ahrefs likes to call it. And out of that, 31% of them are do follow. Right? You can actually see your top 100 backlinks here. And for each of the backlinks, what is the DR and UR? Like I said, it is like a proxy for your page rank. And you'll also be able to see what is, if whether it's a no follow link, do follow link. If there is nothing here, if there is no follow tag, it means that it's a do follow backlink basically, right? So as you can see, you are able to see all the different backlinks pointing to your website or any website for that matter. And this, this is how you're able to actually keep a track of how many backlinks is pointing to your website, and whether you have to go out there and actually get more backlinks, right? If you come here, it'll also show what are the different anchors that are being used. Obviously, most of my anchor text is Sanjay Shenoy, and like this is one of the phrase matches. And as you can see here, there is one like generic one also. So there is like good combination. So these are not all the anchors. So since this is like the free version, it is showing only the top 5 anchors, but obviously it is going to be like distributed much more, right? So this is how it is actually being like pointed to. Like you can see the top 5 pages also. Let's see, right? So these are the top 5 pages for which it is actually I'm getting my links to. Again, like I said, these are only the top 5 pages. The free version just shows you all of these things and top 100 backlinks, but the paid version will give you like a lot more data, right? This is how you actually see how diverse your backlink profile is, how diverse your anchor text profile is, and what is happening on your website or any other website for that matter. You can go do it for your competitive website as well. Does this make sense? Let me know in the chat box real quick if this makes sense. Super stuff. Good. Right? But how do you go out there and actually create these backlinks in the first place? So what I would recommend, or what my strategy for any website out there would be, that initially you need to create this layer of, so the most important thing that you need to keep in your mind, guys, please pay attention right now. The most important element in SEO, can anyone tell me what is the most important element in SEO success is? Now that you guys know most of the things. Okay, what is that one element that determines your SEO success? Let me put it that way. Good one, good one. You guys are learning. Relevancy, solution, authority, great content, website performance, quality. All of these things are correct. But if you are not patient enough, if you don't give it enough time, then you are going to burn your hands. If that makes sense, time is one of the most important elements in terms of SEO, right? You cannot go out there and expect things to happen overnight. You cannot expect things to start showing results like just in a few months or few weeks. If it does happen, and it can happen in a lot of cases, it does not mean those are outliers, right? It does not mean that is how it is going to actually go out there and like give you any kind of performance, right? So since you need to make sure, you need to give it time and not like actually go crazy with any kind of SEO activities that you're doing. You can do whatever you want on your website itself, no problems. Whatever you have done so far, absolutely no problems at all. In terms of off-page SEO, let me rephrase it. In terms of off-page SEO, the most important element is time. You need to give it time, right? You need to spread across your efforts. You need to spread across your efforts across a long period of time, so that if you had to plot your efforts and your backlinks, it should look like this, right? It shouldn't look like this. It should look like this. The graph should like slowly, gradually increase over time. And that is what is going to make sure that your SEO performance is stable and sustainable, right? You need to make sure your website doesn't get banned or it gets penalized or all those kind of things happens, right? To make sure all of those things do not happen, what I recommend to do initially is that go out there and build some very, very safe backlinks, right? So these safe backlinks, Google doesn't care at all, right? So it doesn't, so Google almost expects website owners to go out there and like build these kind of backlinks themselves. And on top of it, then you start going out there and either start earning them, you'll know how to do that. And actually reaching out to other websites, we'll learn about how to do that in the next session, right? All of those things. First, what you need to do is create this foundation of backlinks that are safe, that gives you that backlink profile diversity, anchor text profile diversity, and everything in between, right? So very, very important. Social profiles is one of those things. So what we'll be doing right now, I'll be showing you guys how to actually go out there and create accounts on certain websites, which will allow you to go out there and drop your website link, which will then be picked up by Google as part of your backlink profile, right? So what I'll be getting, it's not social bookmarking at all. It's not at all that. So I'll be like giving you this list of close to 40 websites on which you can go out there and create your own profiles, right? So I'll show you one of the profiles, and this is how, let me show you this thing itself, right? So can you guys see to your right-hand side, a link to my website here, right? So how do you go about doing it, right? So to do this, what you need to do is basically come to this website here, right? Click on sign up. Use email as or whatever it is. You put your full name, username, email, blah, 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 all of those kind of things. Since I already have an account, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and like show you guys how to do it, right? What's happening? Is there a lag in my video or audio too today? My internet has been very choppy today. Just let me know in the chat box. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Some people yes, so some people no. Okay. So sorry about it. I don't know what's happening. Am I in? Am I not in? Oh yeah, I'm in. Right. So once you have logged in, right, or signed up, basically you'll get this page. And if you click on edit profile, which you'll see on the right top corner, can you guys see it? Just give me a quick yes or no in the chat box if you're able to see it. Edit profile. So if you click on edit profile, you will then be able to see this form or field in the form which says that add your website. Just put in the link to your website and then that's it, right? So this is how you actually put in links and create links on social profiles. So this is how you do for all the websites that has been mentioned here. Like I'm not going to show you guys how to do each website. So all you need to do is sign up, go out there, edit profile, and then you should be able to do it, right? So you have about 40 different websites here on which you can actually go out there and create backlinks on, right? So that is one way to do it. Then we have content syndication and content repurposing as well. Now, what we'll be doing as part of content syndication, where is it? Yeah. So what we're going to be doing, we are going to use Medium as a platform to go out there and like actually repurpose the content that we have created and give ourselves a backlink from Medium itself. Now, obviously, a lot of people, what you need to be doing is basically you can go out there and paste the actual content exactly like that. A lot of people might now be wondering, hey, will this not be considered as duplicate content? It won't be when you add this one particular line in your blog post, which will actually give you your backlink itself. As you can see, I have a blog post that says how to start a blog in India. I've gone ahead and like copy pasted the same thing. And like, as you can see here, this post was originally published here and I have given myself a backlink to the original post itself, right? So this is what I've done. So how do you go about posting or publishing a blog post like this? All you need to do is, so sign up on Medium And once you're signed up on Medium, you can use your Gmail ID to do that. It's very, very simple. Once you do that, you will have this option called as write a story. So exactly like your WordPress backend, it looks like that. So you put in your title, you copy paste the content that you've already created. You can go out there and copy paste the content you've already created. And at the bottom of it, you just say that this post was originally published on so-and-so blog post, and you give yourself a backlink, right? So the other thing that we'll be doing is basically content syndication and content repurposing. Both, this is basically both, right? You're syndicating your content and you're repurposing your content as well. Another way to do it, another way to do it is basically to use Quora, right? So you'll be using Quora to go out there and like find questions around your topic. Say, for example, right? So you go to Quora, you put in your keyword like I've done here, which is basically how to start a blog. And then I'm going to look for all the questions that are there, right? So, say for example, okay, how do I start a blog in 2020? What are the 8 easy steps? Whatever, right? So let's take, for example, this is the blog post that I want to write. So what I need to be doing is find one of these questions here and then click on answer. This will show up. Either you can put in the link to your website directly. Obviously, you need to like put an actual answer and then like say that, hey, you know what, if you want to read more about this, go out there and like check out my website. Either you can do this, as you can see, it'll automatically come up like a link, or you can add an anchor text for yourself. Just do this and click on this link button that you see here, and then you put your link like this, right? So you can put it as a footnote also. So it'll come at the bottom of your answer. So what you can do is basically whatever you have created so far, you can go out there and like copy paste it into Quora and like actually use this as a way to get yourself a link. So believe it or not, I had interviewed Neil Patel also, like about around the same time I had interviewed Ryan Fishkin, and his Quora growth story was basically this. What it did was he basically reposted all the content that was published, and he like basically put links to his blogs as much as possible. That's what he was doing, and he actually mentioned it about that in the interview also, right? So you can go out there and do this, and it's going to like give you a lot of so we actually use it for one of our clients also, and it worked great because I'll tell you why. So there are 2 reasons why it works so great. One is that Quora actually ranks for a lot of keywords on Google also, right? So since you're basically piggybacking on Quora, which is already ranking, and you have certain questions ranking, so you're going out there and answering on those questions which are ranking, and therefore getting some traffic to your website. Plus, Quora has some internal discovery system also, which will allow people to discover questions and answers, therefore sending you some traffic to your website also, right? So it works great. So these are the few ways in which you can get started with your backlink building process. What do you guys think of this? Do you think this is exciting, interesting? Are you guys excited to go out there and give this a shot and start building the first set of backlinks to your website? Awesome. Believe it or not, we have come to the end of session number 6. Pretty short lesson, but uh, I think this is one of the most key lessons, valuable lessons. It's short, but it's valuable. It's extremely essential in terms of making sure you are getting the kind of results in terms of your SEO. And what is going to do is that in the next session, we are going to be learning about, so next session is going to be even more interesting, primarily because everything that you have learned up until this point, it is all going to tie together, and you'll get a very holistic bird's eye view of what you have been doing. Very importantly, why you have been doing the way you have been doing, right? And then you'll be able to understand, okay, this is why we did the whole keyword research like that. This is why we did the on-page like that. This is why we did the technical SEO, and why we are doing off-page like this. Everything like gets tied together very beautifully, and we'll also be learning. So this is the approach that I take in terms of SEO, and we'll also be learning to create a bunch of different kinds of backlinks as well in the next session. But yes, yeah, I've always had fear of backlinks, and today I can say I'm finally relieved of it. Oh wow, why were you scared of backlinks? It's time to fly the nest and discover the world. Absolutely. Speaking of which, Who is ready for the assignment? Let me know in the chat box. All right. So the first part of the assignment is that I will share the list of 40 websites on which you can go out there and create a profile for yourself. Out of those 40 websites, you need to create at least 15 of those social profile backlinks and share the URL of your profile or the backlink itself. Republish your content on Medium with a link to the original content. Answer at least 3 Quora questions around your topic and drop your links. And of course, you're going to be writing another 1,000-word article. And in the next session, you will learn why you have written so much content so far in the past 5 sessions. You will learn why it was so important and why it is going to be crucial for you to get the kind of results. So, probably you'll be writing. Okay, I won't give it up. Right. For now, just go out there and create another 1,000-word article. Obviously, it needs to be original content. Make sure it's on-page optimized and get an 80+ score on rank math, and interlink all the old posts as well. So this is what the assignment is. Who's excited for this assignment? It's a different assignment. It's an interesting assignment. Of course, the common denominator between all of these assignments is the fact that you'll still be going out there and creating another 1,000-word article. So yeah. All right, like always, the assignment deadline is 5th October at 6 p.m. and you'll be getting a cashback of 1,000 rupees, and payments will be made within 7 working days of assignment assessment. All links will be available on this particular link. Speaking of assignment assessment, how are you guys liking the feedback that we're giving as part of the email that you're getting for the assignments that you're writing? Let me know in the chat box. Uplifting, okay, fantastic. Is it helpful? Loving it, encouraging, really helpful to know our mistakes, good, brings confidence, okay, it's motivating, good stuff. We can give feedback for the late submission also. More detail you want, Harshita, we can't give too much detail also, as you can imagine that there is a lot of assignments to the sets, right? So we're trying to do our best. We'll see how we can integrate more feedback or more valuable feedback, even if it's not more feedback, more detailed and valuable feedback. And of course, very happy to know that it's encouraging and helpful and uplifting and everything in between, right? So most of you guys are asking for it. So we thought that, okay, let's see how we can solve this problem. And to some extent, we have solved that problem, hopefully, and we'll be seeing how we can make it even more better, right? Awesome. So let's start off with the Q&A. What are the pros and cons of manipulating DA and PA? Okay, to be very honest, you can't really go out there and manipulate DA and PA, right? So what you can do is manipulate the way you get backlinks, because of which your DA and PA might increase, right? But it's like I said, it's not just about getting backlinks. It's not just about manipulating your DA and PA and all of those things. At the end of the day, the most important thing is going to be whether or not you're getting amazing results for your website through SEO or not, right? And for that to happen, your SEO efforts needs to be sustainable also, right? You can't beat the algorithm. Don't try to outsmart it. Don't try to go out there and manipulate things. You'll learn all about this in the next session in even more detail. It might work in the short term, but it might not work as well as you might want it to in the longer term. So why take that risk? Focus on the longevity also, right? Not just the intensity and the kind of backlinks you're going to get, how you're going to get fast results and things like that. Shortcuts won't work here. Give it time, be patient, and slowly do it over a period of time, and it's going to be actually helpful for you guys. The do follow, no follow is controlled by both giver and taker of links. No, the webmaster or the person who owns the website basically controls whether or not the backlinks are no follow or do follow. So by default on your WordPress websites, if you give a contextual link is basically in the post itself. If you give a link out to another website, it's do follow by default. But if people will be posting links in the comments, you'll learn how to do that in the next session. If people are posting links in the comments, it'll automatically be treated as a no follow link. So anchor text can be used as part of your content, right? So the way you've been doing interlinking, everybody understands how interlinking is done now, right? So just like highlight the word, click on the link button, and just drop your link. That's what you're doing. You guys are doing, right? I showed you guys how to do it. Let me know real quick in the chat box. Yeah, I showed you guys how to do it. Yeah. So that's exactly how you choose your anchor text as well. How Google will differentiate between paid links and earned links? That's a good question. I wish I knew this, because that way I would definitely avoid being in the radar of Google and get all the paid links that I want. Now, having said that, see, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be going out there and getting paid links. Now, paid links and earned links is not what the question here about, or the debate is about. The debate is, what kind of links are you getting? Whether you're paying for it or not is not the question. What kind of links are you getting? You need to be getting high quality links from high quality websites. And if that means you need to pay somebody in the whole transaction, you can go out there and pay. But it's not about, but if you say that, hey, somebody on Fiverr or Upwork or somewhere random is saying that, hey, I'm going to give you like 1,000 backlinks for 1,000 rupees, it's obviously going to be like crappy links. So that is not a good thing. But if somebody says that, hey, I'm going to give you a backlink from a really good website for like $500, that might make sense, right? So Google does not know whether it is a paid link or an earned link, right? But Google has a way to like see patterns or footprints, right? So what it tries to do is basically, if a particular website has posts with outbound links given to random websites, and the whole, it has a, you'll figure it out. You'll be able to like actually see the kind of websites that I'm talking about, and you'll be like, okay, these are websites that were built solely for the purpose of actually going out there and giving out links to other people, right? So that's the main difference. So Quora helps indirectly in terms of SEO ranking, because although the links that you'll be getting will be no follow links, but you're creating a nice profile of backlinks, so that in the next session we'll be building different kinds of links. So even if you do that, you have this safe layer of backlinks that is going to help you. Plus the fact that Quora actually ranks for certain keywords as well on Google, right? You are indirectly like piggybacking on that particular page. And since your answer is going to be out there, you might get like some referral traffic coming onto your website. So that's how Quora is going to help you. So some of the social profile links are do follow, some of them are no follow. I've actually mentioned it in the sheet, so you guys can like go out there and do it. Yeah. Creating backlinks will be the same, regardless of who you are or what kind of website it is. Yes, we'll be learning how to do comment posting in the next session. So please be patient. So if you go out there and promote, if the only thing that you'll be doing will be promoting your website, you will get banned. So what I would recommend is that go out there and post a couple of answers without any links, and then probably post some answers with your links. Right? Keep that balance, and then we can take it from there. How advisable is using a third-party link builder provider? Like I said, I would request Royce to like hold on till next session, and then probably you can decide what part or what kind of backlinks is this third-party link builder going to like actually build for you. Right? Then we'll take it from there. What is the weightage of off-page SEO in full SEO process? Good question. I would say 50%, right? Because backlinks actually play a very critical role in determining whether or not your website is authoritative and credible. which is why the weightage of off-page SEO is close to like 50%, and the rest of the things that you've been doing so far is the other 50%. There's no difference as such, right? So you sometimes in content repurposing, you don't necessarily have to use the entire blog post. You can just take chunks of it and put it. So which is why I kind of like put content syndication on the other hand can be the entire post. Content repurposing can be like chunks of the content that you have already created. Can you help us to line up for job interviews? Again, this is going to be a longer term plan. So what I'm actually planning to do is probably like hire like a HR consultant or someone who knows people in the whole industry and like who can like actually reach out to companies who are looking for SEO professionals and then say that, hey, we have a bunch of guys here who are well trained, have gone out there and done things. Are you interested in like hiring them? Again, I'm not promising anything right now, but I will be working towards it in the future. It is definitely going to take some time, but that is in the works. EA and PA can be increased via backlinks only. Any other option? No. So domain authority, page authority. So the authority of a website is basically determined by how many links your website is getting, right? That is what it is actually signified. So unfortunately, it can be only increased via backlinks. Devendra, I'm not sure why you haven't received any feedback. Uh, we gave a feedback for assignments only for starting from the last assignment, so not for the previous old assignments. So please check your email. You might have received it on an email. When you say time, how much you mean approximately? Again, don't try to build like 1,000 backlinks in like a month, right? There's no correct answer to this, but you need to, again, you'll get like a much better understanding of what I'm talking about in the next session. So hold on to all of these questions. I'm intentionally ignoring certain questions because in the next session, you'll have a much better understanding to all of these questions. EA can also drop, yes. When there was no SEO, it was 47. When SEO started, I don't know which one it is, but it can drop. It can fluctuate. You can keep fluctuating. Raj will be, I'll be talking about this in the next session. So please hold on. So do follow and no follow. Basically, like we spoke about the concept of link juice. Link juice is nothing but the authority that is being passed on from one website to the other, right? A website owner like yourself can control whether or not the link juice can flow to other websites. And by default, it's going to be do follow. And if you want to make it no follow where the link juice is not being passed on, you can add this tag here, which is a rel equals no follow tag, which will make it a no follow link. How will Google differentiate between anchor text and internal links? Anchor text, I mean, they are very different concepts. While linking the anchor text, there comes an option of opening on the same tab or a new tab. So what is better? I mean, it's your call. There is nothing like there. It's not from a SEO perspective. It's more from a user experience perspective. So whatever you would like them to do, it's up to you. How much DAPA is good for any website? 100. That's the maximum you can get. But the more you have, the better it is. What if a competitor hires from someone from Fiverr to build backlinks for our website, bad backlinks for our website? So that can happen. It's called negative SEO, and a lot of people, some people do it, but Google is actually pretty good at actually finding out whether a backlink, a bad backlink is being pointed out to you, and like ignoring those backlinks and all of those things. There is an option called as disavow. So it's a little technical. We won't be getting into it because it's a very rare case phenomenon. So don't worry about it at all. I have a confusion. I entered your link in my blog and it's a do follow. Will it be a backlink for me or you or both of us? It will be a backlink to me. Is it okay to link other websites on a website, or does it have some? It definitely is okay to link other websites on a website. No disadvantages. In fact, sometimes people recommend doing that also. You can post the entire blog post from your blog to Medium. For low competition keywords, can we rank with pure backlinks as compared to high competition ones? Yes. Again, we'll be understanding what you mean by this question and why we have been doing whatever we have been doing so far in the next session. So please hold on to it. A good backlink is something that is relevant, comes from a high authority website, and is contextual. So that's a good backlink, right? A bad backlink is like some random backlink from a random website on a random page is not at all relevant. You can disable comments if you want, Raj. I'll show you how to do it in the next session. You can post the existing blogs on Medium and Quora. You don't have to write new content for it. Okay, some of the questions I've intentionally not answered primarily because we'll be addressing that in the next session. So please be patient. Please hold on. Again, Bhaskar, many of your questions are like, will be answered in the next session. So please hold on to the questions. So I think with that, we have come to the end of session number 6 of HIIT SEO. I hope you guys had a good one. I hope you guys found it interesting, valuable, and a bunch of different things also. I hope you guys enjoyed the history lesson as well. And we'll be like talking about more in terms of off-page SEO and link building in the next session. So enjoy your assignment. I'll be seeing you guys on Tuesday, and then we'll be like taking it from there. So until then, have a great night. Have a great rest of the week and the weekend. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye-bye. Take care.